Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And today I want to talk about this so-called quarterback controversy that's going on in New Orleans. Now, I've seen podcasts, I've seen TV shows like Speak for Yourself, and it seems to me that the national media is trying to create a quarterback controversy between Drew Brees and Teddy Bridgewater. Now, we all know that Drew Brees went down in week 2 against the Los Angeles Rams. He had the thumb injury that caused him to have surgery. And Teddy Bridgewater, the backup, who the Saints signed in the offseason, he came in and he won 5 straight games. And then Drew Brees came back a week before the bye against the Arizona Cardinals, threw for over 300 yards. I think he had 3 touchdowns in the game, and everything was right in the world. But now we look at the New Orleans Saints suffering an embarrassing loss to the Atlanta Falcons, only scoring 9 points. And now the media smells blood in the water. And they're asking a question, should the New Orleans Saints go with Teddy Bridgewater over Drew Brees? Look, man, check this out right here. I don't think the New Orleans Saints need to change up right now. I don't think that they need to go to Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater did an outstanding job. I mean, you look at some of his stats, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was completing over 67% of his passes. Had a good quarterback rating during this time. You look at the way the Saints responded defensively, helping them out, probably playing some of their best defense they played in I don't know how long. But the fact is, Drew Brees is the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, and he has been. The New Orleans Saints have built this team around the player Drew Brees, not Teddy Bridgewater. And Drew Brees, even though he's 2-2 this season as a starter, that does not mean that it's time to go to Teddy Bridgewater. I do feel like Teddy Bridgewater was signed by the New Orleans Saints to be the successor of Drew Brees in the future. The problem is he might have played his way out of New Orleans because he is undefeated. And if I was Teddy Bridgewater's agent, I wouldn't want him to play no more because he's only going to affect his contractual, I won't say contractual obligations, but he can affect his contracts in the future because right now, if he leaves the New Orleans Saints, he might be looking at some big bucks. Drew Brees, he is not the same quarterback that we know and loved over the years. He is not. Last week, he played awful. I'm going to just call it for what it is. People can say the offensive line wasn't blocking or whatever, but I'm just going by when he did have protection. He was not accurate. He was not putting the ball the way, where it needed to be at times. I seen one pass that he threw to Ted Ginn Jr. between 2 defenders. I mean, you talking about a lame duck. I know it's going to take a while probably because, that whole thumb issue. I really don't feel like he's 100%. He can pretend and say that he's back, but, I don't think that he is 100% when it comes to the thumb. I'm not buying what people have been sending me in the inboxes saying that Drew Brees came back early because he's jealous of the success of Teddy Bridgewater. The crowd was chanting Teddy in the Superdome, and that made him want to rush back. I'm not buying that. Drew Brees is a competitor. You can tell like it hurt him every time, questions were asked about him not being on the field. You can tell like that it really bothered him. But it also showed us as fans that the New Orleans Saints are trending in the right direction. That I can appreciate. All those years people are saying that Drew Brees carried the team and Drew Brees was the reason for the Saints' success. In a lot of ways he was. But you have to be optimistic as a fan of the New Orleans Saints to know that Drew Brees don't even have to play and they still can be successful. And I feel like people just need to chill out with this whole quarterback controversy because there is none. The only way Teddy Bridgewater is going to play again if Drew Brees goes down. If Drew Brees continues to play bad, then you might have a question. It's like in a couple weeks. But I just feel like this was one of those games that was a trap game. It was a division game. I don't feel like the Saints were up to the challenge. And it wasn't just Drew Brees that were playing awful out there. So you can kind of chunk that game up to, bad coaching, bad execution, 12 penalties in a game. So I don't think that has anything to do with having a quarterback controversy. I think they're barking up the wrong tree. But I'm going to say something that might be not be as popular. If I was the general manager of the New Orleans Saints, I would not sign Drew Brees back next season. Drew Brees, he is an incredible quarterback. He has been great. He's the all-time leading passer, but it's a business at the end of the day. You look at some of the greats. You look at Joe Montana. Um, you look at Joe Montana. I mean, you look at Peyton Manning. Just great quarterbacks. Some of the greatest of all time. They didn't end their career where they started. I mean, we know that Joe Montana ended up going to the Chiefs, and Peyton Manning ended up going to the Denver Broncos. I mean, it's just a part of life, man. I mean, it's just a part of the game. Tom Brady been in New England for 20 years, and even Brett Favre, man. He went somewhere else. I mean, that's an anomaly. Looking at Tom Brady, being in the same place all those years. Me personally, like I said, I wouldn't sign him back. I really feel like he's gonna retire after this season anyway. I don't feel like the Saints would have went out and got Teddy Bridgewater and was so adamant on trying to bring him back. If they didn't feel like he was going to be a successor, I don't feel like Teddy Bridgewater would have turned out a bunch of money to go to Miami and be the starting quarterback of his hometown team if the New Orleans Saints didn't promise him something. So I would not sign Drew Brees back next season, even though I don't think he's going to come back. I think he's going to retire at the end of this season. But you do not have a quarterback controversy going on in New Orleans, long story short. I think that the New Orleans Saints are in good shape. I think that the New Orleans Saints, just had a letdown game. And I think that we are going to see them respond in a game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But what do you think about the national media, talking about a quarterback controversy? Do you feel like there is a quarterback controversy? Do you feel like Teddy Bridgewater needs to start over Drew Brees? And if you don't feel that way, what would it take for you to feel that way? Comment down below, like and share this video. My name is TJ Jones once again. Please subscribe to the State of the Saints podcast YouTube channel. And I'm also on Facebook, facebook.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?